Alright, so I pulled another all-nighter here, so I might be zombie mode today at the office, but I got a bunch of shit done. For the 1% better, um, I think we should focus on above the fold, which is as soon as you land on the home page, what you see with scrolling. So above the fold, within 5 seconds or less, we have to say who we are, what we do, who we cater to, why you should be interested, what we do it, how we do it. We want to create trust and credibility instantly as soon as they land and make the next step obvious, right? So give them immediate, obvious place to go, a call to action, etc. So there's where we're at now. Um, I think besides the 1% better things that you said today, which are pretty easy, it should be done pretty quickly. Um, I think today we should focus on the slider, and there's two like a couple. What I was trying to say on the phone is there's this one. So this is Cisco, and this is Cheney Brothers. So I did a bunch of research just to kind of see here, just all the landing pages from medium-sized companies to Cisco, which is huge, Cheney Brothers is huge, PepsiCo, which is huge, Coca-Cola huge, to some smaller ones, and it's interesting to see what they all have in common, and it's their menus, their like, for example, here, like you can see, um, so this is an important video, but so let me just get to it. So for today, we're just gonna do the slider and fix those three things he said. Um, but I think long term, first I'm gonna show you what I mean by sliders, right? So Cisco does, you know, their slider is one's planet friendly, get a fresh perspective, more than just food. It's just kind of all catered towards like food, and we'll talk about the menus here. So the menu stuff's important. And by the way, I saw most of them have this tab here for investors, so maybe that's something we should add um, later on. So it's a public company, but I saw a lot of a lot of companies that weren't public with investors. So that's one slider we could have. But I actually personally like this one. It's kind of ugly, but it shows, right. So slider one will be leading food service distributor, and here we'll have like all the different all the different foods that we have, or at least a summary of it. Um, we'll have a next slider. We'll have a picture of our warehouses, build credibility. The next one we could have our brands if we want to, or we can do something else with this. And then export and transportation, we deliver by land, air, sea, on time and accurately. And I know you told me stories where you lose money because you have to fly out certain things or rent a truck last minute to make the delivery on time. So, I think that's a big reason why people should, work with us, and that we should emphasize, and maybe we can even get some testimonials, etc. We'll get to, below the fold later on. But for today, I think we should focus on getting the slider and maybe deciding on some of the updating the menu options to kind of see it, to kind of see where we're going. So I thought a lot about the way to lay out the site, and I actually think that the way that we're gonna have to do it is, so here's kind of what you explained to me, which is you have the supplier, distributor, different kinds of distributors, wholesale, retail, consumer, right? So I think the way that we're gonna have to do it is, and I'll show you examples here of, like for example, Omaha Steak, Gordon, and U.S. Foods does this, is where they have different pages, or there are subdomains or different pages for each type of um, whatever the fuck this is called, supplier, distributor, wholesale, for each type of one of these sections, I guess we'll call it. So for example, so for True Grade, we'll have the product, and the products aren't accurate. I kind of just did this fast, but distribution products. So let's say that we distribute water and chocolate, right? And then within here, there'll be a distribution customer types. These are the customers that we distribute to. Again, these aren't right exactly, but cruises, supermarkets, schools. We have the customers here that we distribute to, and then we'll have a separate landing page slash website just for distributors, right? And then same thing here for wholesale products. This is here, so it'll be a list of all the products we wholesale, and then we'll have the different types of customer types that we wholesale to, cruises, supermarkets, etc., our customers, and again, it's a separate landing page just for wholesale, and you get the point here, retail, retail customer types, supermarkets, etc. And then we can eventually, for the Peter division, direct to consumer, it'll be like the CBD or whatever high margin products they are. Customer types, choose whatever, depending on the product that we're selling. Direct to consumer customers, these are kind of, I look at them as our customers here, even because they're going to be buying through here, and it'll be a very separate landing page. So let me just show you here 3 quick examples of Omaha, right? So Omaha didn't have a distribution website. These 2 other ones did, but they had a fundraising website, which I thought was interesting. So Omaha starts off with a fundraising website. Here's a link to it. They have a wholesale website, which this I think could be huge, where it's actually just a spec sheet here, right? So it'll tell you the price per box, etc. And then over here will be all our different products that we wholesale with the spec sheet, and if we want, we can make this page password protected. They also have a retail website, right? So like they're saying if you have a upscale restaurant, you can sell Omaha steaks, so they have a completely separate website. And then this is the direct to consumer website that they have, which is kind of, just direct to consumer, just delicious looking food with coupons, free shipping, etc. A lot of offers. Same thing for Gordon Food Service, distribution, mother effer, distribution. So Gordon Food Service, food service distribution service area. Wholesale for wholesale, like hey, need week large orders, truck deliveries, or they're wholesale. And then they have a retail website, and this I thought was pretty interesting, which is kind of a wholesale, really more than retail, where you can buy per case or per pallet, and you build your case and your pallets of a whole shitload of products, and then they obviously deliver it to you. And then they have the direct to consumer website as well, where you can just buy 1 or 2 items. For US foods, again, they have a totally different website. I thought this was interesting, they're actually building a $71 million distribution center. So they have if you want to wholesale, they make you be a customer. They also they do retail. So if you want to buy for, if you have a retail store and you want to, buy their products, and they actually help you. They have other services as well, which I thought was kind of interesting, where they help you make their menu, etc. This US Foods was actually a pretty interesting website. They have a lot of cool things that they do besides just food. A lot of other services like to help you, to help restaurants, etc. make more money and get higher conversions. And then I this is just kind of like the sliders. This is the above the fold for a bunch of different websites. I already kind of showed you Cisco, and I already showed you Cheney Brothers, PepsiCo. If you notice again, all of them do investors. I know PepsiCo is also is a huge company. So, but like this, what's cool is we can start stealing like little different, you know, subsections of each page here. So I like this page. They're going after sustainability. I don't like how that looks. The Coca-Cola website was kind of weird actually. For the, for for investing and shit like that. It's actually not some anything I saw that we could swipe. This one was interesting. Um, Forgot why, but I remember it was interesting. Kraft Heinz, again, have Oprah and shit. Campbell's Soup, above the fold. Again, Investor Center. Dr. Pepper. Um, Investor section again. Our brands, you kind of just see their menu here. Company, careers, etc. So pretty much I just did a swipe file of a bunch of big companies. I put this little emoji here because their website here is actually all just good videos. I don't know how fast it'll load, but I'll show you real quick. So, they have. I think there's something that we should do. So, like, I've noticed that everybody has sliders with, um, pretty short headlines. Ours is kind of long right now. So, this is the first slider, which is video. Second slider is about the brands. Another video, and you can view the portfolio. Again, the call to action is there. Third one is, the headlines, like the press releases and shit they've done. The investors, again, investor tools, resources, um, whatever, donation stuff. Learn more. See, they all have a little call to action button on the slider for the specific thing. Bestseller, our culture, brands, people. So this is like our careers page to get, job opportunities again, and you can see the menu here. Let's see what else was kind of worth looking at. I had a couple more little cool buttons. Alright, so this one was cool, which is they have a pop-up. So Gordon, they have a little pop-up that says, what are you shopping for home or for business? You know what I'm saying? We can do something like this as well, where we have a pop-up that says, what do you, wholesaler, retailer, distributor, and then based on what they click on, takes them to the appropriate page. Store locator, wholesale ads. So they actually had an entire different section for wholesales where they had featured things. For example, if there's shit we gotta get rid of for cheap, we can put them on here. Values, and I already showed you the funnel here where they actually, I clicked on the Gatorade packet here, and then once you click on the Gatorade packet, you can add a case or a pallet for any of the products, and you can check out right away, right from, or you could pick up at the warehouse. So that's something that I thought was cool that we can implement later on as well. Yeah, and I thought the Omaha one was actually really interesting for doing a price sheet. So, like for example, let's say that so everybody, and this all relates to signatures as well. So, like let's say that so some people are selling, obviously for the price list, the price list for fish or whatever it is, or for Gene, who has a bunch of different products that he's currently selling. You can just have all the information there. Again, you could password protect it if you need to. and you can just get all the specs on all the different products, and we can categorize it better. So yeah, that's just something that I notice everybody does, is that they have a totally different website for each of these sections here. Mother. For each of these sections here. So distributor wholesale, and again we can do it for the different types of distributors that you told me, the ones that stock the shelves, etc. So yeah, I think that's just something that we're gonna have to do. But again, not to get overwhelmed with all this shit, and to keep it simple for today. The 1% better is to do, this, and then I think we should decide on a meta scale our sliders, like what, like these faggots have our story as their first slider, then they have their, portfolio of wines, then they have their press releases, etc. These people have what I already showed you. I kind of like something like this. So I think for today we should fix those 3 little mistakes we did, and then kind of decide on we might not have the pictures ready, but we should decide on our sliders what they're gonna be. So for example, um, this first, I don't know what the fuck. So this one right here is gonna be, what is true grade? Like why us, and kind of talk about the deliverability and the shit that you say that you fly and you lose money just to make sure that the order gets delivered, something like that. And it could be our locations, kind of the outcome of being bigger than we are, like get a drone or whatever, Google Earth or whatever we gotta do to take pictures of all our warehouses stocked up, etc. So I think that should be the outcome for today for the website. It's just kind of decide on the sliders, get the pictures, and then kind of do what everybody else is doing here, which is kind of just a short. These guys are even using our colors, where we use a short little headline to describe what it is. So over 1.5 million square feet of distribution space, and they have like the pictures of all that things. So we can make our shit look big. Food distributor, etc. And then later on, so that's for today. We should come up with just the headline and temporary images for the for the for the for the background sliders, right? So export and transportation. And then the next thing is here is this is something that was actually kind of funny that Ricardo already started fixing. But for example, if you look at Cisco's products, right, it's all like cooked, um, just it's not cooked, but it looks good, like raw or desserts or whatever. On our website, Ricardo already fixed it, started fixing it. We had like, it's still not great, but if you just compare these two right here, you kind of see like how much cleaner. And so after we fix it, the above the fold, maybe this one of the next pages we fix is pretty easy, which is um, we used to, this doesn't really, these aren't really products, true Italian. I'm like, what is this? It's just it's meatballs or sauces or whatever, seafood. Just the pictures of the water would be better here, and actually showing like these are kind of our brands, I would say, not really our products. Here would be the yuca, but here we used to have pictures of Ricardo changed it, but we used to have like pictures of cows here, and we had to have pictures of like actual fish in the ocean, and nobody does that. So definitely a project we got to do is once we know all the pictures we need, we should spend like definitely some time taking good quality pictures, whatever we got to do to make this shit appetizer, especially if it's B2C or whatever it is, or just to make our products look delicious. And there should be pictures of the water, um, etc., etc. But yeah, there's a lot of shit to do, and that that investors tab might be interesting. I know I showed you some big companies, but all of them had this investor stuff, and I know that right now you're looking for cash and maybe. So last thing to sum this up, this video's getting kind of long and I'm rambling, but to sum it up, what's cool is that once we have the niche pages, right? Once we have the niche pages for all this stuff, right? So when we have a distribution, a distribution website landing page just for distribution, just for the products that we distribute, just for the we'll have the social proof of our customers that we distribute to. Then on the signature, you can target just people that do this distribution stuff for, let's say somebody let's do wholesale. Let's just say Gene, for example, is just doing wholesaling for Royal. We'll have a page like specifically just with kind of like our price sheets and all that stuff that we're selling, and we can do something kind of how this website over here was doing. And this is for chocolate. There's just a bunch of ideas, bro, but let me just show you the last thing here. Kind of this page did it. Gordon did it, where for their wholesale page they had like tabs even for wholesales, right? So yeah, so these guys, like, even for their wholesales, like their wholesale page, they had ads, values, say one of your favorite features, and I don't know if the stuff Bruce talks about, that we're gonna have all these different products, thousands of different products. That would definitely be a separate section. It would be like um, wholesale.truegrapefoods.com. It'll just be a site that looks like this, where you can select your products based on case or palette, and you can build your thing and check out right online. And then it was interesting also the fact that these motherfuckers here were using fundraising. So Omaha was fundraising, which I thought was kind of I wasn't expecting that. So yeah, they're fundraising. I don't know why the fuck it keeps doing that, but yeah, they were fundraising. They have a little picture fundraising and all the different charities that you can fundraise to. Definitely do this for the chocolate or any other fundraising sites. And in this file here, you can actually just go to the URL. All right, so it's kind of what I did, and there's a lot to do, but yeah, we'll just improve this at 1% minimum per day, and we'll go from there. We got the clear action items for today, which is fix all the stuff you said on the thing through email, and we'll work on the slider as well.